Jackson was one of the most immoral presidents in US history, probably why he had no qualms partying his ass off, even if it meant destroying the White House in the process. When he first took the presidency in 1829, his first order of business was to up.
It's time to party.
He threw a ripper for 20,000 of his closest friends, who turned the White House into Animal House for a weekend. While you may not have seen 19th century women untying their corsets for beads, Jackson seriously turned the place into a frat house. So many people wanted to party with the big man, he had to jump out a window to avoid being crushed by the crowd. They had to put bathtubs full of liquor on the White House lawn to draw the partiers out so Jackson could get to work presidenting. Sometimes you just gotta give the American people what they want. Which he did again on his way out of the Oval Office 8 years later, when he threw a somehow even wilder shindig. Jackson had been gifted a 1,400-pound wheel of cheese with one small catch. It wasn't quite done fermenting.
Ew.
That gave Jackson the entire final year of his presidency to start planning his Great Cheese Party of 1837. He took out an ad in the paper inviting the entire country to come help him devour this cheese. 10,000 people showed up and choked the whole thing down in 2 hours. Well, not the whole thing. A lot of it was smeared on just about every surface of the White House. With a mansion absolutely reeking of cheese and thousands of people in sudden need of a toilet to void their guts of year-old dairy, he handed the keys to Martin Van Buren and said, "It's your problem now, bucko." Kind of a boner move, but not the bonerest move in the history of partying. That title belongs to Alexander the Great. Have you ever blacked out and woken up with a ridiculous hangover and maybe the sinking feeling that you may have, I don't know, burned down an entire city? There's probably only one guy in history who knows what that feels like. After finally capturing the city of Persepolis, the jewel of ancient Persia, Alexander celebrated by throwing a bitchin' party with his army. He let his boys run off and loot the city, whip up some drunken orgies, whatever they wanted. No parents, no rules.
We're going streaky! Yeah!
Alexander himself got completely zooted, had an emotional, drunken chit-chat with a sex worker who reportedly convinced him to burn the whole city down. For, reasons? Nobody's really sure why, but he smashed a wine bottle on his head, pulled the boys out of those orgies, and ordered them to burn down the city he just marched to the ends of the earth to capture. He woke up the next morning feeling like a real dum-dum. Remember that the next time you feel bad about getting drunk and texting your ex.
I just want for everyone to party forever.